Unknown Space presents a product of boredom, a product of nothingness.
Anything you want me to be.
The show you're tuned into right now was put together by students and staff enrolled in the broadcasting courses in the radio television department at San Joaquin Delta College. Thanks for listening and supporting college radio.
Welcome to Anything You Want Me to Be Radio, a show about anything, for anybody. Here we are, Episode 1 on KWDC 93.5, but Episode 4 in the Anything You Want Me to Be canon. I'm Tom Arganda. I'll be the host for this episode. Next episode, who knows? This episode will consist of an interview conducted by me with local 209 clothing brand, Recognized Clothing. If curiosity takes hold at any point in this interview, you can find Recognized Clothing on Instagram at Shop Recognized. One word. Shop Recognized. I've talked enough. Without further ado. Well, I'm Thomas Arganda, joined here with Daniel Vohs of Recognized Clothing. I was going to say CEO of Recognized Clothing, but at this point, you're pretty much just Recognized Clothing all around.
I'm on my own. We're doing this. We're by myself, full force.
So what's up, man? How you doing today?
Good, man. I feel good doing this interview. I'm a little bit jittery, a little nervous, but it feels good, man. I feel like a celebrity. Is that kind of weird? Is that like a big ego thing right now?
I mean, why not?
Alright, my bad. Alright,
so, I mean, this is something, because, I mean, you could agree with me or not. Like, do you ever just kind of fantasize about interviewing people? Like, I don't know, celebrities you might be a fan of, artists and such?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was about to say, I know this is really, because I don't, being part of Recognized, I don't know if this is ever going to take off, man. It's really fun to do and I love it, but, man, one of my biggest dreams is I would love to, like, do a magazine, like, like a little lookbook, and in those, like, celebrity, like, interviews, or even interviews about the models that are even doing the, the clothing and all that, is, like, one of my biggest dreams right now. I think that would be really dope.
Yo, you should pursue that. That would be cool. But anyways, what I was saying, that would be cool though. You should do that. I don't know, something, when I always like think about interviewing people, questions I kind of want to refrain from, just because, they're kind of surface level-y, maybe boring questions, I don't know, are the kind of, who are you? What are your inspirations? Where does all that come from? Your influences? But since this is your first interview, I do want to ask those questions. So, first and foremost, who are you and what is Recognized Clothing?
All right. So, I'm Daniel Vohs. Like Tom said, I guess you could say CEO of Recognized. Not really that big, so you can just say I'm Recognized Clothing right now. Recognized Clothing, man, it's one of my high school dreams. I think a lot of people, as of late too, they've been wanting to start a lot of clothing brands. I've had this dream since I was like 15 or so. It was meant to be with like a bunch of friends and all that, man, but it never happened. So I was blessed to be in a position to at least throw money into Recognized Clothing and, start my own brand and all that. So, but Recognized Clothing, man, it's more of like an accepting brand, it's more of like a lifestyle kind of brand. I know that's really basic, but I really want to touch upon like things like, any kind of clothing such as, shirts, hoodies, we're talking beanies, all the good stuff, and, just really simplistic looks and all that, things you can wear anytime, anywhere, all that good stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and because you say you do want to reach out to more, I don't know, I suppose like that's like corners of fashion, like shirts, beanies, and such. How far have you gotten? Like, what do you have right now? Like hoodies, blah blah blah. What's up?
Yeah, so as of right now, as Tom knows and a few of my friends know, we start with hoodies, and after a while it was kind of like, all right, maybe we should not do hoodies because it's the middle of summer. Let's move somewhere else. So because I started off with 3 hoodie looks, and they were decently successful. I just had a recent drop. It was meant to be a summer drop. Obviously, it came out in September, unfortunately, but that's been decently successful, and it's soon to be online soon. And actually, probably when this radio show's out, the website will be up, and you'll be able to buy from there. But what's available right now with that stuff is shirts, shorts, and all that good stuff. Really, just summer apparel. First time you can wear it. You can wear clothes that is 90 degrees and all that, and it works. You know what I mean? You're not burning up.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. And because we've talked about this before and how this drop was supposed to be that summer drop, which, because there were a lot of complications getting this drop to you, what do you define it as now? Do you define it as like the summer that never happened drop, I suppose?
Man, so I'm still calling it a summer drop, and I know that's really bad. But luckily for us being in California, because that's where mainly all of my customers are at right now. It's still hot, man. I mean, you know that too right now with everything going on. It's 100 degrees right now, or it was today. So I'm still calling it a summer drop, but I feel what happened was, I think a lot of the hype, because I had a lot of hype in my February drop when it was just the 2 hoodies. I had like a lavender hoodie and a heart hoodie. Surprisingly, I had a lot of hype in that, and it kind of died. So these next following drops I will be doing in the future, it's going to be more of called like the Don't Forget About Me drops. That's what I'm planning on calling it, and it's going to be a collection for various months until about July or so, where I'll be dropping multiple items and different designs and, things that hopefully people will enjoy and like, you know what I mean?
Yo, is that news? Like, cause you didn't even talk about that with me. That sounds really cool.
You know what? Other than my girlfriend, it is breaking news to everybody else. The Don't Forget About Me drops dropping in October, mid-October soon.
Yo, that's cool. Why is it called the Don't Forget About Me drop?
First and foremost, because I want to pay the homage and all that. As Tom, and some of the fans are going to know right now, people are going to know. I'm a big fan of Dominic Fike. We'll just say that right now. I'll keep that clear. I got the inspiration from him. His mixtape was Don't Forget About Me. And, I think the Don't Forget About Me drop is like something where I can be like, yo, don't forget about me. Look what I can do. Look at these clothes. I'm not forgetting about you guys. Hopefully you don't forget about me. That's like one of those things, you know what I mean? And I think it's going to be it's going to be a bunch of cool items that'll be coming up soon. I think a lot of people are going to be enjoying it, man. Hopefully. Fingers crossed at least.
All right, so because you said you were inspired by Dominic Fike with this drop. As somewhat of an artist myself, I try not to pull from the art I'm working in, I suppose. Otherwise, it begins to get derivative. And what I mean by that is, if I'm making maybe a movie or whatever, and I'm only looking into, like, my only form of inspiration is like, I don't know, Quentin Tarantino movies or something like that, I feel like eventually I'll just be making Quentin Tarantino movies. That it'll just kind of be constantly mocking his movies to some extent. Like, when creating something, I usually look to different pieces of art. Like, if I'm making a short film, I might look into paintings that might inspire me, because I think you'll make something more original if you look into other mediums of art rather than the art you're actually working in. So that being said, because you did say Dominic Fike was like an inspiration for this next line of drops, is music the other medium that gets you your inspiration?
Partially. Because I do want to say this. Some of my biggest inspirations, definitely the biggest one. I know this could be a basic inspiration, but Tyler, the Creator, I think what he's done with his platform, man, music-wise and all that, and then just building an empire, whether it was his record label, whether it was the clothing brand with golf and all that, he's killed the game, man. Anything that he's done or touched, he's killed it. I mean, recently he just came out with Ice Cream too, So I think that's a big inspiration. I don't think clothing-wise, I'm not inspired by music to like pay homage and put in like an album cover on that shirt or something like that, something crazy like that. But you get the drift. It's more just, I think this is the one time where I'm paying homage to, Dominic Fike, and I think it's a really cool idea, and, you kind of get the idea of what I was trying to go for, and you get the idea of what he was trying to go for, you know what I mean?
You have done a bit by now, and that being said, I want to know what your creative process is like. Because me personally, when I'm creating anything, I have this, I don't know, maybe it's a weird creative process, but I will create titles first. Like I'll say, I don't know, probably like my craziest title of a piece I've worked on is maybe the flying taxidermy moose head that came from elsewhere, which it sounds like crazy, but then I say that at the top of my head, not even knowing what that project is about. But then I could like truly analyze it, and I have a fear of taxidermy or whatever, so it must mean that I'm trying to communicate fear. So that's just like my funky creative process. What's yours like is my question.
So for my process, man, it sucks because like hear me out, right? Like the process doesn't suck, but with clothing, once you start doing this kind of stuff, you kind of realize like a lot of things you want to do have already been done, right? There's been a ton of brands since, to keep it light. Obviously, it's been for hundreds of years, right? But we'll just say till the 90s. All these brands are getting so different, and it's trying to be like the next big thing of what makes your brand yours, right? So what I'm trying to do, man, when I come to the creative process, usually I'll have this idea in mind where, I'm not going to say homage, but I'll have this idea in mind where it's like, okay, how can I step away from, what they're doing and do my own thing, right? So what I'll do, like for the spring and summer drop, which was supposed to be the summer drop of this month, September, but that's out now. What I'm saying is the butterfly and the bee, I always thought that's like a spring and summertime vibe, right? But I was like thinking in my mind, like that's really basic. And like my biggest fear was, what if somebody has done that already, right? What I was doing. So to like, try to like not necessarily top it off, but like, try to be a little bit outside the box, be a little different. I put the bee and the butterfly elsewhere. So I had two bees and butterflies, like one on my arm, one on the arm area embroidered, and one on the bag. So it's not just the bee and the butterfly in the middle. That's it. I try to be outside the box, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But some of the other things, man, like, sometimes I just like the simplicity of it. I think a lot, simplicity sells. That's the truth. And it's super nice for the most part when you just do simple looks. Like, for example, one of the things I have right now is that lavender hoodie. It's literally just, it says recognize in the middle. It's in a cursive font and that's it. That's been one of the most hype things I've ever sold. It sold out almost immediately. I only have like a few left. That's the only reason it's still on the website. But it dang near sold out everywhere, man. So, the simple looks are really the big sellers, if I could say that. And I really appreciate the simple looks because you can wear that anytime, right? But when it comes to like the bigger stuff and all that, I would have to say, I just try to think outside the box. If this brand's doing this and I had this idea in mind, I'm like, okay, how can I be completely different to what they're doing? And if I just have a different idea that no one's had before, that's when you struck gold. That's when I'm very happy. You know what I mean? I've done something. I can, it's mine. I can say it's mine. I've done that first. It's a cool feeling for that part.
Yeah, no, I think that's really interesting because you kind of touch on that. You kind of, sometimes it seems like what you said, like you do strike gold sometimes when it's this thing that, you don't think people have seen before. But at the same time, sometimes you gotta kind of be realistic with it. Like you gotta accept that people like pastel colors, people like bumblebees, butterflies. So you kind of gotta roll with that, but find out how you could sell that as your own and kind of attach yourself to it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you nailed it. You said it way better without, mumbling a bunch of random stuff like how I said. So my apologies about that. But no, absolutely. And like I said, I think one of the biggest things I struck gold with so far was one of my heart hoodies. Obviously, it didn't sell. So maybe I'm kind of lying to myself and it didn't strike gold. But I think it was a really cool concept. Just the hearts all over. I mean, you've seen what it looks like before. A lot of people have never seen that before. And I was really proud to show that design. It was something cool. It was a cool feeling. And it did get some love. Not a ton of love, but it was cool though. I appreciate the how different it was compared to other things that we've seen before.
Yeah, no, what he's referring to is like this, like, you would consider that like a Valentine's Day drop, right?
It was a Valentine's Day drop. I think that's why it wasn't successful, because the drop was February 13th, and Valentine's Day, I think this year was February 14th, or that's the normal day, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. But no, like, there was like embroidered hearts in like a lot of different sections, and there was probably embroidered hearts on sections that sections of the hoodie that you probably wouldn't even, imagine. And I thought that was really different and cool. So I think you nailed it when you said that was like a time you did strike gold. We're going to take a short PSA break now, but we'll be back on KWDC 93.5 Stockton.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Struggling with mental health? Do you feel inadequate of experiencing a fulfilling and balanced life? SeizeTheAwkward.org offers a relay of resources for you or any individual enduring emotional pain. Your mental health is a priority for yourself and for the world. To learn more, visit SeizeTheAwkward.org. PSA brought to you by the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention and the Ad Council.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for summer break
because she may not be having lunch again until September?
Or a single father of 2 who works 3
part-time jobs and still can't put enough food on the table?
Or maybe a mother who cleans offices at night,
hoping to find meeting leftovers to take home to her hungry family.
Or a war veteran who's having a hard time landing a
job and getting back on his feet.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
But just going back, because it's like, the lavender hoodie sold the most. That just kind of brings it to because I think that exact drop with the Hearts hoodie and the lavender hoodie is probably like the, how do I say, like the kind of realistic. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but you have this one article of clothing that is kind of left field, kind of it's different, definitely. And then there's this other one that it's like, this is what's gonna make my money back. It's like, this one is gonna make this me, but this one is gonna, make that money back, I suppose.
No, for sure. And I just want to make this clear real quick. What I'm doing is not about the money. And Tom, as Tom knows, I put in way too much money that were unsuccessful sometimes, especially my first job. I just want something that I can the best feeling in the world, man, is when you're walking around and you see someone wearing your hoodie. It's such a crazy feeling. You're like, yo, that was my idea. I made that. You know what I mean? Or
did that happen to you?
Yeah, just around. I remember when I sold it to one of a person I didn't know. It was a friend's friend. You know what I mean? And I was walking around Delta's campus and I saw them in the Heart hoodie and I was like, whoa, what the heck? You know what I mean? It was a different feeling. Or especially recently when I just opened up my online shop and all that, man. I got my first order from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Super random. It was an exciting feeling though, man. I will now see
Wisconsin
randomly.
Wow.
So I thought that was one of the coolest feelings, man. Not selling from a local area, from the 209 area, and selling from Green Bay, Wisconsin, dude, where it snows all the time. I was like, yo, I think I made it. I haven't, but you know what I mean? It's like, yo, what?
No, I definitely understand. Even as somebody who puts out, I don't know, not that I make clothing or anything, but I'll make videos and such. And when there's somebody who I don't even know giving it attention, that's special to me. That becomes just I don't know, a milestone in the midst of all of it.
It's a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's relieving. It's your hard work. Obviously the job's not done and you want to continue, being the best and hopefully people will still enjoy your work, but it's a great feeling. It's a big milestone, like you said, because, dude, it's your hard work's starting to pay off and it's starting to get an audience. You know what I mean? It's different. It's cool.
All right, so with each drop so far, because I mean you did take us into the creative process, but I feel like there is something you missed out on, because it seems like, because before you drop, you've kind of, I don't know, you'll kind of tell me something about the drop beforehand, and you kind of have, maybe you haven't even noticed, but you try to, seems like you try to tie certain narratives with each drop, at least. Like, first drop, well, actually, I don't know about the first drop, but I know that the second one was definitely like Valentine's Day, even though there was like a lot more ideas before that, before you even settled on Valentine's Day. And I just want you to like take us in the headspace of each drop so far. What like narrative have you like tied in with each drop?
Yeah, no. So we'll go back real quick. Like you said though, absolutely, I usually do try to tie in a narrative, whether it's something simple as a holiday, or it's like a whole like, you know, a nature vibe. You know what I mean? Like a nature feel kind of thing you got going on, like with certain animals or something like that, or insects. You know, the first drop I ever did, it was the box logo. Really terrible quality, I'm not gonna lie. I had great friends who supported me and did it though. That was just to get the name out there. It was a really cool feeling, but you know, like I said, it was ugly, man. It really was. But the second one, you know, that was my pride and joy. And like I said, this is why I'm calling this next few drops the Don't Forget About Me drops. This is where I got some hype, and it was really crazy because I never thought I would get this amount of love and support. I never thought I'd be talking to people back in high school who I really never talked to, and they were contacting me about buying hoodies and all that, or just random people around the world just seeing my Instagram post and be like, yo, let me cop. So, you know, but with that being said, though, when I came to that creative process, that was really wrapped around holiday design. I've always had the idea of like having like things around your, you know, shirt or hoodie or something like that, and I thought a Valentine's Day with the hearts scattered everywhere was a really good idea, especially because they were like sweetheart candy inspired. So it said like you're cute, or had like a, you know, the love sign from the emoticons or something like that. You know, I think that was a really cool idea that, you know, not to toot my own horn, but I thought that was an awesome idea that I came up with. Because like I said, it was the first time where I'd never seen that before, and it was just a really cool feeling. Like I said, the lavender hoodie, it was just like another one of those things, because I'm still, you know, really I'm nothing, right? I don't have any, you know, any growth right now. I was, you know, still just kind of this kid with no big, you know, I'm still this kid with nothing right now, still trying to grow the brand. But that's why you saw the pastel lavender colored, just recognized straight up. It was just, you know, just put the name out there and, hey, this is the brand, that's it, boom, here you go. And like I said, it was one of the more popular ones because it was just so simple. It was really nice. And then with this future summer drop, I was really just trying to go for like a summer look. Like we talked about the being the butterfly, you get the point of that. You know, they're always around the spring and summertime. The other one we had was like a different colorful shape design. I called it like a deco design. It was more like a deco, like a bowling design, because you kind of see that design more in like bowling alleys. And I just want to go with like a multicolor, like kind of rainbow feel. And I think it really turned out really well. And thus is why it's like with like short sleeves and beach shorts and all that. It's more like for things for like warmer weather type stuff. So that was definitely for a summer vibe. But for future things, you know, in October, I'm not going to say any designs yet. Tom knows them, but we're definitely going for a little bit of a Halloween type thing going on. And then what Tom doesn't know yet is during the winter time, I do have things, you know, up my sleeve right now that I'm trying to work on and trying to process and make sure the designs look okay, so I can start, you know, getting to work on that. But we will be doing like hoodies and beanies and all that for like colder winter stuff, so things like that. So there's not really a say a narrative for that quite yet, but I do try to always tie narratives for everything if possible.
End of the interview. Now I want to know from you, with recognized clothing as a whole, and just as a brand, as this medium, I suppose, what are you ultimately trying to communicate with recognized clothing?
So the mission with Recognizement is we're trying to be accepting of everybody, and I know that's really basic and everyone's doing that, but it's the truth though, man. I want like a clothing brand that everyone can look back, not necessarily be like a comfort zone, I guess, nothing crazy like that, and you know, like a safe zone or something like that. But I really want something that, you know, people can connect, you know, like, you know, to be stereotypical, like the band kids, they could wear it. The jocks, even though there's not really any jocks anymore in high school, not as much at least, right? You know, the jocks, they could wear it if they wanted to too. But, you know, as simple as that is, I really want anybody and everybody to be accepting and wear that. One of the mission statements I recognize is, be recognized for your love, not your hate. You know what I mean? The last thing we need in this world right now, especially in 2020, man, is all this hate in the world, man. We're really trying to at least push some love out. You know what I mean? Just something along those lines. Young kids, and it could be to anybody too. It could be middle-aged parents. It could be old people they want to too. We love everybody. Anybody, like I said, could wear this brand if they wanted to.
Recognized clothing. I think that was a great interview, and I wish him luck on any other future endeavors the brand has going for it. For further curiosities about recognized clothing, you could follow them on Instagram at Shop Recognized. One word, Shop Recognized. And for now, Anything You Want Me to Be has been a production of KWDC 93.5 LPFM Delta College Radio. This program is made possible by listeners like you. Programming is produced by the students, staff, and faculty of San Joaquin Delta College's Radio Television Department. It is supported by the Delta College Department of Arts, Humanities, and Multimedia, the Career Technical Education and Workforce Development Office, and the State of California. Thank you for listening.